The time is 3:35. I wanna run the disclaimer first. I think that's really enough. So I want to talk about Nasdaq. It's 29th of July 2025. It's 3:35 right now. It's 8:35 a.m. in the New York session. So as you can see, the daily chart on Nasdaq, we've been trading higher. We're trading at 23,472 now. If you go to a daily chart and do some projection that we did last week, I pointed out 23,450s, and this week we opened up with Nasdaq opening up right here. If you look at the opening price, that is 23,416. So that's very interesting. And then this week is NFP week. We are anticipating NFP on Friday, and then Wednesday, that is tomorrow's price action, we are anticipating ADP. Today there is let me just look at the calendar. So today there is Joel's job openings at 5, and then we've talked about tomorrow's ADP, and then there's also FOMC tomorrow at 9 p.m. So on Thursday we'll have unemployment claims, and then on Friday we'll have NFP and ISM manufacturing services at 5. So it's an interesting week. It's a volatile week, and we are looking for whatever that we can find to be able to trade. So it's Tuesday. This Tuesday we opened up right here. This is the Monday New York opening price. We opened up these Tuesdays here, and then if you look at this 15-minute, we've been really bullish, and then we ran into Monday's high that was resting above 23,463. So after running out Monday's high, going into today end of London session, we've been consolidating around this area here, but immediately we go above an old high. I'm looking for price to come inside the range, and that's kind of like what I'm looking for. So we already have these relative equal lows here, and these were I'm anticipating price to draw into after we opened up at 430s with futures. This is my next draw on liquidity. We have a buy side imbalances and efficiency here, so I'm anticipating weakness. So this is so far the weekly high. Even though my weekly bias is bullish, my monthly bias is bullish, I'm still kind of subscribing to the idea that when we go above an old high, we are going there to make a premium. So we ran this high out here, we consolidated around this level here, then we ran this high out once again. So if you look at a lower time frame chart, 1 minute in Nasdaq, so you can see this was the London's first presented fair gap. You can see the support right there. We ran into Monday's high in the London session. This candlestick is at 10:45. So London, we ran into that high. We formed a gap here. I was looking at this gap while we were trading here, and you can see the changeover here with the macros, and then we ran this high here one more time with this 1250 and 110 macro. So going into 7 a.m. New York time, that is at 2 p.m. my time, right there. We have this run back into this inefficiency. Let me extend this out in time. We ran back into this inefficiency. When it happens like that, just delete the whole inefficiency. So that midpoint is right there. So we ran lower, starting from that is 2 o'clock my time. That is 7 o'clock in New York. We ran back into this BC here. We've gone through it. We've not trained this low out. I've been looking at this low here since before we ran this high out. So This is very important to me, and this is a Sellside liquidity pool here. I'll be very interested in price trying to trade into this low here, going into 430. So we've ran that high out right there. I was looking at these inefficiency here. There's a very small inversion favor gap here. This is what I've been looking at. There's an ideal sell right there after I've gone above this buy side here, making a new weekly high. That's a sell, and then I'm anticipating these relative equal lows here to be taken out going into 430. Right now it's 345. So we'll minimize, and then I'm anticipating these sales liquidity pool down here. You can see the inversion of a value gap here, how we leave that gap, trading higher, we've traded lower, and I want to see price wanting to come inside this inefficiency here. This is the earlier inversion of a value gap that I've been looking at. So it's just a normal gap. It's a buy side imbalance as inefficiency. I'm anticipating price to offer weakness through this inefficiency going into 4 o'clock or 4:30s. So I'll be studying price using this 15-minute chart here, and you can see the daily chart. We're trading higher. The higher time frame is bullish. July, my whole of July was bullish. It's clear, and you can see how we opened up here with the 1st of July. I mean, the first day of July being a down close, and then we ran higher, stayed above the opening price. You can see here, and then we ran this high out. I talked about these weeks here. I talked about how if we run through this week here, then we'll be really bullish. And you can see the movement here, and now we're trading at 23,474. So the time is 3:42. We have a swing high here on the 15-minute chart. I'm expecting this candlestick here to be down close, and most probably trade back into this range, majority of this range. Let's look at US 500. So US 500 generally it's weak. If you look at a 15-minute chart, US 500 we've not gone above Monday's high, but in Nasdaq we have. So that is very important. This pair is very weak, and because I'm anticipating weakness in Nasdaq, I'm anticipating US 500 to be a lot more weaker. So if I look at US 500 side by side with Nasdaq, I'm anticipating a lot more weakness in US 500 than NAS 100. So if you look at NAS 100, 1 minute chart, this is just what I've talked about right now. I want to see price get into this inefficiency here, and then the sales liquidity pool here is the draw on liquidity. So below this inefficiency here, I've talked about on the 15-minute chart, there's a buy side balances and efficiency that makes this setup even very good. So if you look at this area here, this is a macro that is here, transform 250 and 310. So we ran that buy side out. Smart money sells to that buy side, trapping everyone who is long here. Any breakout artists, their orders are taken into the marketplace as buys, while smart money sells into that pool of liquidity there. So I'm expecting a run lower, and I'm expecting a run into this relative equal lows sales liquidity pool right here. And I want to see fast price action. I mean, fast price delivery into that sell side, because we don't want to see these orders here being pulled out. We want to see price rally into these lows here very fast. So I've talked about how US 500 is supposed to be weak, a lot weaker than Nasdaq, and that's really it. So from a higher time frame perspective, I've talked about that daily chart. We're only looking for weakness if we go above an old high, and right now we are trading at these old highs here. This is the So far, this is the weekly high, and we are trading lower. So we went above 23,463. 23,463 is around below this inefficiency here. That was yesterday's high, and that was the weekly high prior to today's trading. So we went above that high right here with that London's trading, formed this inefficiency here where we're currently trading at, and I'm anticipating weakness now and a fall lower into this sell side. So that's really the narrative. Every time we form a new high and we go above that old high, especially when we are in all-time highs, we're trading at a short-term premium. We're trading every single time we're trading. That's how price behaves every single day, every single time. That's the experience I have with price, and that's what I'm anticipating it to do right now, because it has always behaved like that. I believe it will always behave like that. So if you look at this 1 hour chart, I normally like to go through the different time frames and maybe talk about what inefficiency or what liquidity pool that I see there. So you can see here we've ran that Monday's high. We ran that Monday's high in at 10 with the 10 o'clock hour in today's London. So this is smart money trying to sell to this premium here. So this is a premium. We have an inefficiency here. We will want to see price trying to reach back into this inefficiency here. I've also talked about this inefficiency with the 15-minute. So this is the drawn liquidity, sell side right here. This is the direction also of the new week opening gap. You see that? This is the direction from where we are currently trading at. The new week opening gap is at a discount. So we are so much on a premium. We will want to see price trying to trade into that discount. So let me just put US 500 here side by side, and we'll see how we trade through this price action. So US 500, I talked about this buy side here. This was an intraday high in US 500. If you look at a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart, this was yesterday's New York session high right there. So we're into that buy side. That's a short-term premium. I've talked about that. So we want to see price trying to trade into a discount. So we look at let's look at a 5-minute chart. We're trading lower. Nasdaq, I want to see this low being taken out, and that will really be a very nice move for today's price action, because from this inversion for World Cup here around this level, this is 23,487. We have the 480 level. We wanna be selling that, and then we have this low here. The low is 459. That's around 460 level. This level here is 456. So 460, 455, especially that 460 level, or rather the 450. Sellside rest below 450 because we must go through these levels here. So 450 is a very nice level to be taking off your short positions from 480s or 490s. So we have 480. The exact level is 487, but if you run that, we'll have 485 is around here. So those are nice short, taking it to the 50 level from 480s. You want to be very precise. You want to be taking that from right here. That is 487, and then take it below 459, 460. That's 28 points. 28 points is such a nice return. So we've gone through that inefficiency here. Very nice price action. So the time is 3:49. We're getting into 350 and 410, and then we'll see what this macro brings with We'll see what that macro comes with. So we're trading at 23,466. I want to see weakness only. So I'm watching this midpoint of this inefficiency and the high. These are very, very sensitive price points, and how price behaves around those price points in regards to the closing prices and opening prices. Every single time each new candle is born. And all I want to see is majority is swing highs being left untraded to, and swing lows being taken out, like this one here. This is still weakness. So if this kind of closes at whatever closing price, we'll have a swing low here, and I want to see that swing low being taken out. So interestingly speaking, I'm a short-term trader mostly, short-term to day trader. Actually, I'm just everything. I'm a day trader. I'm a short-term trader. It's very interesting. So you see how we are behaving here, swing high here. You can see how we are running lower. So that midpoint of that inefficiency, we ran into that. Look at that price delivery right there. Very nice, very nice. So this is telling me I am on side still. I am on side, and want to see price run these lows here. So if you look at US 500, very interesting price action. We've ran through that buy side. I talked about this buy side in the morning in London. We've ran that buy side. We've stayed around this area here a lot, and we started breaking lower. See, this is a 5-minute chart. We broke lower below this swing low here, below this swing low, and then we've come back into that premium, and then weakness, taking price below this relative equal lows, and then eventually want to see price trade through this inefficiency. So the time is 3:52. On a 5-minute chart, in US 500, I will really be interested in this inefficiency here. I like it because it's on the middle of that new week opening gap midpoint right there. That's 6,408.4. So this inefficiency here, it's very, very important in interpreting and deciding whether price wants to go higher or lower. So you can see there's a volume imbalance here. Let's see how price trades around it, around here. Time is 3:53. I'll not be in front of price in London. I mean, this morning session, they open for index futures. I'll be trading. I want to trade this opening price here at 3:30. That's 5:30. I mean 8:30 a.m. in the New York session. So that's an opening price. So look at that price delivery there. Look at how price is running to this sell side. Very interesting. Look at US 500. It's running lower. So I want to make this larger, and you can see the relative equal lows here. And we want to see, obviously, see price going through this sell side below 23,456.9. After running that buy side, we have an inversion for gap here. And then all these sales that is resting below these lows here, you want to see it being run. So 459, that's very nice. If you see this reaction from here, this level here, this is a very nice reaction from here. Swing high here, and then you can see the next candlestick here. It's an up close candlestick, but it does not really go above the swing high. This is even how the daily chart behaves when we're approaching a liquidity pool. It forms a candlestick like this one here, and the next one is a down close candlestick, and then the next one is also a down close. Very interesting price action. So we've gone below that low. Very, very nice. Look at that. But I want to see price running into that sell side. This one, 23,457. We are 459. Those are 2 points to that level. So in a minute, boom, there we go. See that? Very, very nice run into that sell side. So once again, this is it. That's panned out. So we'll take this screenshot. So we can study this here. So from that inversion parabolic gap here, you can see the run lower. I talked about these relative equal lows here. I talked about how I want to see price go through this inefficiency. We went through it starting from the opening price here. So we went lower into that inefficiency. And then you can see the swing high here. We're running lower. Sell side, we ran into that, and you can see how the down close candles here are being delivered. Very, very nice draw lower. So I wanna put this 1 minute here with the 5 minute, and then I'll take the screenshot together. And that's has been really it for this morning. So you can see the swing high on the 15 minute. The next down close here is the next candlestick here is a 15-minute down close. Very, very nice price delivery here. Run into this sell side here. And eventually I talked about this buy side imbalances and efficiency. That's what we're running into. So that has been really it. I'll not be in front of price going into the index futures opening price. I think whatever it has done this pre-session here, this is the pre-session, this is the early New York time. That's a sell right there from that premium trading into that sell side. So this has been really nice. So I took this trade here. You can see it right here from that level right there, taking it into this sell side right there. Beautiful price delivery. So that's really it. So until next time, I think I'll do the afternoon session today. So until that time, adios.